I'm so on theme today, you guys. Valentine's Day, here we come. Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Maryam here. In today's video, I am reviewing NATASHA DENONA's latest palette, the Love palette. I have it right here. Is it her best palette yet? We shall see. I also have the entire Love collection, the Love Glow Cheek palette, as well as the lip balm glosses. So I will be reviewing all of that as well. I'm gonna be applying all of this to my face to create this very festive Valentine's Day inspired look that you see on my face right now that I quite like. But you gotta watch this video in its entirety just to see how it went. I'll leave it at that. Remember to subscribe, comment down below if you have any questions at all. Hit that notification bell so you can see all of my Wednesdays and Sundays videos. And now let's jump right into it. NATASHA DENONA Love Palette plus Love Collection review for you. Let's hit it. Inside the package, we have 3 distinct products. We have the eyeshadow palette, Love palette. We have the Love Glow Cheek palette. And we also have the Lip Euphoria gloss bombs. 3 of them. The Love palette looks very Barbie, very love themed to me. I think it's perfect for Valentine's Day, or not even for Valentine's Day. For any of you who love purples and pinks, this is stunning. This is probably the most quintessential pink purple palette I've ever seen in my life. $65, limited edition, cruelty-free, paraben-free, made in Italy. 15 brand new shades, NATASHA's signature eyeshadow formula. Pinks, mauves, purples, corals, silvery neutrals, rich burgundies, and a fiery red that will melt together in perfect harmony. Where's that fiery red? Must be it. Because it's a $65 palette, I can tell off the bat it's the exact same format, the exact same size as NATASHA DENONA's Sunrise palette. I did review that one. You can check it out after you watch this video. I'll include the link up here, also down below in the description box. If the quality is the same as that Sunrise palette, then we're all in for a treat. Next, we have a $55 Love Glow Cheek palette with the most awesome packaging ever. I'm mesmerized. I'm obsessed with this. I'm sorry, I'm a girl. This screams to me, and I want it all day and every day. Also, NATASHA DENONA packaging is just so chic that even creating something like this, which seems so girly and so cheesy, does not come off cheesy with these gorgeous, super high-end luxe packaging. No way. I feel like if anyone can do this right, it's Andy. In this palette, we have 4 shades. On the top, we have 2 glow cream bases, glow cream and a super glow. Then on the bottom, we have a diamond powder and a glow impact powder. I'm obsessed with the fact that a lot of NATASHA DENONA palettes have this very convenient little cover to protect the cream bases from the powders. That's so genius and so smart. No one else does this, but they should, even though they probably can't, because this is a custom mold. And I am sure that the NATASHA DENONA and team spend a pretty penny on these custom palettes. People can probably try to replicate, but they can never duplicate. Next, we also have a Lip Euphoria, which is a gloss and balm in one. So this lip gloss slash balm is supposed to deliver some collagen, some plumping, some moisture, some very much needed hydration for dry, cracked winter lips. Before we get on to swatches, let me pull up just a couple of facts. These products are available January 28th online at NATASHA DENONA, at Sephora, and at Beautylish. February 6th in stores. Listing, linking everything down below as always and per usual for your convenience. Now, let's get to these swatches. I heard you loud and clear, and I am bringing in my swatch model for this video. How happy are you? Comment down below. Yay! All right. We are going to start from the top right here, and we're gonna go straight across the rows with this color, which is appropriately named First. First swatch. Creamy, but a little light, so I'm gonna double dip for this one. Next swatch, this is called Lifetime, like those Lifetime Valentine's Day movies.
Oh, yeah.
Next we have Heartbeat. Doo-doom, 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 doo-doom. Oh, Heartbeat. You're looking more like a beat rather than a heartbeat. Transparent? You better not give me a transparent swatch. I want a power swatch right here. It delivered. All right, next one is Trust. How much do you trust your partner?
Oh, this must be the cheaper palette.
It is the cheaper palette. Wait, how did you know?
The swatches are not like typical.
The shade! I'm gonna tell NATASHA you said that.
No, I kid.
Here comes Heart, not to be confused with Heartbeat. Ooh!
Oh, okay.
Oh! Is that a lipstick? Damn!
Okay, I was put to shut up.
You were put to shut up. Next one is Giving. How much are you giving? And how much are you receiving?
Great color.
You love that?
Yeah, it's really pretty.
Next one is Pure Love.
Wow.
You know,
You got a little Bowie hair, I think.
story of my life.
Pretty color.
Next we have Commitment. I'm through Commitment. Oh, that's pretty. Here we have Blind. That's nice.
Wow.
Here we got Soul. Wow. Next is Passion.
Passion. Oh, that is beautiful.
Definitely like the fruit. I got 3 more. Intense. I'm gonna go this way. Oh, I love that color.
You like that color?
That's a me color.
Too Barbie for me.
Just model. Let's talk. Here we have Valentine. Ugh, the grooves in your arm muscles. And last but not least, we've got Dream. Ooh, this one feels really creamy. Maybe I can plop it right here. Come on, Dream.
Ooh.
Gorgeous. My swatch isn't, but the color is really nice.
That swatch is not so good.
Ooh, yes. Hello. Those eyeshadows swatched okay, just okay for me. I'm not really used to those kinds of swatches from NATASHA DENONA. Some of them were definitely amazing, but others were just a little bit on the dry side. Although the shadows themselves did not feel dry on my fingertips, it's just the way they swatched. As I said it before, and I'll say it again, swatches don't really tell anything to me. I do them because you like them, but really, I think a swatch is only good for a true representation of the color. Nothing more, nothing less. That said, let's get to this tutorial and let's get to this actual review so that I can apply all these products to my face. Starting with the Love Palette. I'm going to prime my lids in 2 different ways. One with my Fenty Beauty Primer, which is a grippy type of primer, so it will grip onto those pigments in case they need extra grippage. For my other eye, I'm just gonna use my Tarte Shape Tape Concealer, blend that out with a beauty blender, and set with some translucent powder. I did both ways in my Tati Beauty Textured Neutrals palette review, and you guys seem to like it, so I'm gonna continue doing this so that we can tell which primer works best for these palettes. The Fenty Beauty Primer, like I said, is one of my favorite gripping primers of all time. It's just so good, but the concealer plus translucent powder technique is also one of my favorite techniques. And I feel like when eyeshadows are known to be super duper pigmented, like NATASHA DENONA shadows, then you don't really need a very grippy primer. But today we're just gonna put that to the test and see which one works best. Even though I do have somewhere to go, so hopefully they'll both look great. Also, since this palette is Valentine's Day themed, kind of want to create a Valentine's Day inspired look. So the first thing that I'm gonna do is grab a Wayne Goss brush. This one is number 19. I'm gonna go for this pinky color here called Valentine. Just start applying that to the grippy side. This color is beautiful, almost paler than my skin at the current moment because I did just come back from vacay, in case you didn't know. But how would you know if you don't follow me on the gram? YouTube is all about the beauty tutorials and the beauty reviews, but I don't really post a lot about my personal life or about brand trips. So unless you're following me on the gram, then you wouldn't know any of those things. Anywho's, I just came back from vacay from Cabo. I went with some friends that you may know, Manny and Laura. And if you're not subscribed to their channels, you absolutely should because they are awesome. And they're my friends. Man, this pink is really, really pretty. I love how it just adds a wash of color. Just such a pretty youthfulness about this color. I don't know what it is. I'm gonna apply the same one to my non-grippy eye. Not as pigmented of an application as you can tell, but definitely still a look. Anyway, back to my vacay. So Lee and I went to Cabo with Laura and her husband Tyler, with Manny, and with a couple of other friends. Joey Grisefa, who's also a YouTuber here, but not in the beauty industry, and also his boyfriend Danny. And we had the most amazing, the most chillax time ever. The resort was magnificent. We did a whole lot of nothing. I never felt better, honestly. I needed that. Too bad it wasn't really sunny in Cabo, but the 2 days that it was sunny, we did manage to get some sun, as you can probably tell, because I am like freckles galore right now, which I don't mind. All right, I think it's time for me to pick up another shade. Let's go for that shade that I loved so much, Intense. Gonna start by applying Intense to this eye first. Whew, that is intense. Right before Cabo, I actually flew to Miami from New York, and I went on a little mini brand trip. I say mini because it was only 2 days, and it was actually with House Labs. I did in fact get a chance to meet Lady Gaga, and I went to her concert, and I now have a newfound appreciation for her because she was so fantabulous in concert. I dare to say she is the best live performer of our generation, and trust me, I've seen a lot of performers. What upsets me the most, or rather what disappoints me the most, is that so many singers don't actually sing live. That to me takes away the whole purpose of me going to a concert to see a singer. Like if I actually wanted to watch a dancer, then I would go watch a ballet or something. But if I am paying good money to see a singer, I don't want to see them dance. I want to hear them sing. Anyways, Lady Gaga is one of a rare few who actually sang the entire time live, no lip singing, and she was doing all types of acrobatics as well. Her opening act was literally plunging from the roof of the arena onto the stage while singing. Okay. Alright, back to this makeup. I will say that this gripping Fenty primer is working a lot better for this particular Natasha Denona palette. Maybe the formulation is different, but the pigments are definitely gripping to the primer, and it's actually making it a lot easier and faster to apply. Whereas on this eye, perhaps the blend is a little bit better, but the wash is just so much softer. Can you tell the difference? This one's definitely a lot more intense, but this one is just more wearable, I would say. I know they said that this is the exact same formula as Natasha Denona other shadows, but this is a much smaller size. Therefore, even if it's the same formula, it could potentially act very different in a smaller pan. All right, I'm satisfied with what's going on in my eyes so far. Next, I'm gonna pick up a precise type of brush. How about this one from Makeup Geek, a pencil brush? And I am going to go into this shade here called Trust. What I'm gonna do next is something different. I'm gonna line my top lash line slightly with this purple shade. I'm gonna kind of just smudge it. I'm gonna lift that outer corner. I'm gonna thicken that wing. Then I'm gonna start bringing it back to emphasize my eye socket. Kind of like this. I like how it's looking, but it's definitely not gripping to my powder, which tells me that perhaps the shadow is not as tightly pressed, or perhaps there's not as much emollients. See, I learned that from Charlotte Tilbury in our video, to make it glide. I can do the same thing on the other eye. I like the fact that this palette isn't super duper heavy because it is a much smaller Natasha Denona palette. That way I can actually hold it in my hand and use this lovely mirror. In case of this side, that purple is actually looking like a liner. Very, very pigmented, because again, it's gripping, and it's gripping good. There is some fallout here with this eyeshadow. Typical with purples. I'm gonna start taking that back. I'm gonna attempt to match the purple crease on the other eye. So with the gripping primer, you definitely have to have a bit more of a steady hand, because the application is a lot more precise, and it's not as forgiving as it is on this side. So I guess it just depends on your technique. If you want to use this palette for a more everyday, a more wearable look, I would say skip the primer and just go for the concealer plus powder prep. However, if you want some pizzazz, if you want some vibrant colors and some pop, then definitely use that Fenty Beauty primer, because it is definitely a good one. Wow, it's honestly looking like two different looks. This is the first time I see such a major difference between using primer or using concealer. All right, I'm gonna beat off some of that fallout. Not too bad actually. And I'm gonna go in with a slightly larger pencil brush. This one is from Beauty Addict's Pro Smudge Brush. I'm gonna go back into that shade Intense, and I'm gonna use that to soften this line here. Kind of just going over the border and erasing, if you will. I don't think I'll need as much of that technique on this side of the eye, but I still wanna be uniform, so I'm gonna try to do the same thing to this eye. Why did I decide to go for a complex Valentine's Day look? Who's actually going to wear this? I'm gonna add a pinch more of that purple shade Trust and just diffuse. Cool, kind of like that. Very avant-garde. Definitely need a bit more of that on my lid. And it's not really sticking, so never mind. All right, for my lid shade, I definitely want to dip into this shade here called Giving. It was just so pretty when we swatched it on Lee. So I'm gonna dip my finger into it. Wow. Pat that all over my movable lid. This is looking really, really, really pretty. I can't believe how gorgeous this shade is. I don't really actually want to create a cut crease, so I'm just going to stamp that up to the border and slightly above the border. Moving on to the second eye. I would say the shimmery shade, or at least this shimmery shade, grips just about the same and applies the same on both of these eyes, regardless of the primer. Perhaps there's more emollients in those shimmery shades. But as is, I think I'm liking the way that this eye is looking just a little bit better than this one. I don't know, something about this is just more romantic. It's got a little bit more pizzazz and a little bit more wow. Quickly clean up. Now gonna create a very straight edge here at the corner. Not really about that in this look, I think. My primer will be this Cover FX blurring primer. I used it in my Tati Beauty Blendiful review. Ooh, I did not like that Blendiful. No hate, the product just did not work for me. Although I did like the way that it applied my primer. Kind of just vacuum sealed it onto my skin. Blurring that texture. Pressing the product in, blurring those pores. Although I don't really need smoothing on my forehead. My forehead is pretty shiny like a penny. But around here is where I have my biggest problem areas. I have acne scars, I have pores, pimples, and just texture that needs to be smoothed out a little bit. Okay, for my foundation today, I'm gonna be using this Dior Backstage Face and Body Foundation. I have it in shade 3W and 4W. Really gonna try not to drip on myself. It Cosmetics Complexion Perfection brush, you guessed it. I think I need a little bit more of that 3W. Not too much more though, because I still want to let my freckles play. Really love that sort of sun-kissed, fresh glow. So I don't want to do too much. Tarte Shape Tape in medium. Blending that out. All right, boom. A little bit of that DERMABLEND setting powder, just a little bit and solely on that under eye. For the rest of my face, Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Wing Gloss brush. Oh shit, and I almost forgot. I have one more palette from NATASHA DENONA that I definitely want to check out, and it's the Love Glow Cheek Palette. Let's do some very quick swatches of this thing. Do the cream, very, very creamy, very balmy, I would say. Let's do the Super Glow. Super Glow feels totally different, more like a creamy eyeshadow. Wow. Let's go for the Diamond Powder. Beautiful. Last but not least, Glow Impact Powder. All right, so now looking at these swatches, I'm not even sure which one I want to apply to my face. I am thinking I want to go for the Super Glow, which kind of reminds me of NARS Orgasm, but I want to apply it with a beauty blender just to be on the safe side. I'm gonna dip into that. I'm gonna remove some off the back of my hand. I can also remove some cat hair off of my beauty blender, and I'm gonna gently start pressing that into the skin. Oh, this is actually a really interesting product. I definitely like the fact that it's a hybrid between cream and powder, so it's not shifting my foundation nor my powder underneath. I definitely see the glow. It's true that it looks kind of chunky in the pan, but it doesn't really come off so on the skin. But I think a beauty blender was a wise tool to pick this up with. Go for it for my other side. Just gonna give it one layer of my Charlotte Tilbury powder because I want it to stay exactly where I applied it. Let's try that highlighter. I feel like this pink is just a little bit too conflicting with the rest of my face. Ooh, but this Glow Impact powder is quite nice. Gonna apply some onto my nose bridge and onto my Cupid's bow. Pinch on the chin, and that's good. Next up, I'm in the mood for brows. I'm gonna use this Tarte Sketch and Set pencil in medium cool brown. It's a dual-ended brow product that has a brow gel on one end and a pencil on the other. I'm gonna use the brow gel first. On the other side is a pencil. I'm gonna fill in some sparse areas. Just extend this brow a bit, but I'm keeping it on the natural side. Brows are so hard to do after you've applied foundation and eyeshadow. I don't even know what I'm doing when it comes to brows. I'm gonna use this Wander Beauty dual-ended brush for my Estee Lauder bronzer in the shade Halo 01. This is actually a very, very natural looking lighter bronzer. And because I have a natural tan right now, I don't want to go too overboard and make myself extra bronzy because then that'll end up looking very, very fake. So I just want to add a pinch of this warmth just to tie everything in together like that. Then I'm going to go back to my DERMABLEND powder and just clean it up right here. Probably one of the only setting powders that I feel comfortable baking with because it's very, very forgiving. Not actually sure why I'm doing the most today. I guess it's that kind of day. All right, now going back to my palette, I'm gonna pick up a brush that I already used, this precise little brush with the shade Intense, and I'm just gonna go ahead and clean up this area once more. Now that I have my brows, I know that this tail end needs to be extended a pinch further. I can never really tell what it's supposed to look like at the end when I don't have my brows on. So I'm gonna re-emphasize the purple here just a bit more, and gonna add a tad more of that pink. For the highlight under the brow, I'm gonna pick up this shade Transparent. I'm gonna add a smidge of that along the edge of my freshly painted brow, also onto my inner corner. there. Pretty. Now there's one more thing I want to do. I want to pick up this shade here called Pure Love with a brush and just stamp it right here to the outer portion of the movable lid. So I'm gonna add that to that groove right here. I'm gonna go back in with Trust, the matte purple, and just darken this portion here to bring everything together. For the lower lash line, I'm gonna pick up Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk eyeliner, which is kind of like a burgundy shade. I'm gonna line my outer lower lash line just to make sure that everything from the top meets with everything on the bottom. I'm gonna smudge that slightly. I'm gonna use that pencil brush just to seal it in place. Pencil brush also has some of that dark purple on it. Take a look at this eye. This eye right here has lost the outer shape of that purple shadow almost in its entirety. That tells me that the gripping primer is definitely the one that you would want to use with this particular palette. And in order to make this one work, I'm gonna have to use that Pillow Talk liner and just re-emphasize this whole situation here. Otherwise, they just don't match at all. Should probably get into the habit of not using brand new palettes and filming the day that I actually am supposed to do something. Or at least let's not stick to two different techniques. All right, that is close enough, and it's about as close as I'm gonna get to at this point. Just gonna re-smudge that lower lash line. I'm gonna wipe away that fallout. I'm also gonna add just a little bit of peachiness right below this purple. Now I'm trying to make this eye match the other eye. Oh girl, this review just took a turn, didn't it? It was supposed to be easy. It does look pretty though. I'm gonna use that Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk liner on my waterline. Cute. Cute. Now let's beat off that translucent setting powder. And now I'm ready for some lashes. I'm ready for some mascara, and I'm ready for some lips. I am going to apply that off camera, and I'll be right back. So I just changed my top. Wait till you see how cute it is. I'm ready for those lip balms, aka gloss bombs. Swatching Duochrome Coral. Wow, that's really rather stunning. Next up we have Nude. And last but not least, we have Mauve. Doesn't actually look mauve, looks more like a nude to me. This one is an absolutely gorgeous shade, so this is the one that I'm gonna go for. I already have my lip liner on. I'm wearing House Labs Myth lip liner. Ooh, love this. Feels very, very comfortable on the lips, not too sticky. Kind of has a cooling sensation. I definitely like the fact that there's color, there's shine. Doesn't look too over the top. I think this is actually a rather lovely product. And now that we have come to the end of this video, here is my final look using the Love palette by Natasha Denona. My initial thoughts about this palette are the following. I am so happy that I used two different techniques to apply these eyeshadows. I'm so happy that I used the Fenty Beauty Pro Filter primer on one eye and the Tarte concealer plus the translucent setting powder on the other eye. And I gotta say, this Love palette by Natasha Denona is a little bit different from her other palettes. I do think that the quality of the shadows, or rather the formula of the shadows, acts a little bit differently here. I think with the gripping primer, these eyeshadows apply really rather smoothly and quickly. Whereas with the concealer and powder on top, well, it took a little bit of getting used to. I definitely had to put some muscle into that. I think the eye look isn't quite as precise and as vibrant as this one. And honestly, I had some difficulty blending out the shadow, and I had difficulty getting it to stick. So had I used my original method of applying these eyeshadows from this particular palette, then I would have probably been very disappointed in the palette. However, I'm glad that I didn't, because I absolutely love the outcome on this eye. It's very vibrant, very festive. I get the theme. I love the fact that the palette is coming out now for Valentine's Day, so all of that is great. I guess what I'm trying to say is it's really hard for me to come up with a grade for the Love palette, given the fact that, well, I had some difficulty with application on this side. I'm just gonna keep it fair, and I'm gonna give this palette an 8. It's not a 9 like most of my Natasha Denona palette grades. I don't know if it's the pan size, I don't know if it's the way that the formula fits within this pan size, but the quality of the eyeshadows are just a little bit different. They're not bad by any means. It just took me a little bit of getting used to. That is my truth on that. I do, however, really like the Love Glow Cheek palette. I'm not a huge fan of these creamy blushes, although this one did apply rather nicely. The highlighter is really nice. nice as well. Not too much, not too blingy, but definitely there. Overall, I think this collection is a hit. I particularly enjoyed the bombs. The one that I'm wearing is Gorgeois. Those are my 2 cents. Those are my final thoughts. So I hope you guys enjoyed this look, this verdict, this Team Truth style review. I will see you in my next video. I hope you have an awesome Valentine's Day celebration, whether it's with your boo or with your girlfriends or with your parents or with your cat. Whatever it is that you do you, boo. Make sure to click on my videos right here. You know what to do.